Today we are hopping in the Wayback Machine and we are going way back to the early 2000s, 2001, 2, 3, to Athens, Georgia, to a little place called the 5-Star Day Cafe, where Claire and I both worked the back of the house. This place was super popular and super packed all day and all night, 7 days a week, except for Sundays because they were only open for brunch. And not too long ago, one of our former bosses spilled the beans all over Facebook and put all the recipes out. Today we're gonna make one of the most beloved and iconic dishes from the 5-Star Day, the stuffed meatloaf.
Roasted jalapeno tomato sauce on top.
So to make it, you need 3 things. You need the meat, the stuffing, and the sauce. And we're gonna work our way backwards, and we're gonna start with the sauce. All right, let's get our oven preheated to 450 degrees. First ingredient, jalapeño.
Where's Jay's favorite knife? Jay's favorite knife was on the dish rack.
Get rid of the stem, slice it in half. Do you want seeds or do you not want seeds?
I think we should seed half.
Seed half. Okay, for this whole recipe, we're gonna use 1 whole onion. Half of it's gonna go for this sauce, and then half of it's gonna go in the stuffing, which is the next step. And I'm gonna cut it root to tip, like that. And we'll just give this a kind of a rough chop.
Oh yeah, the sauce is getting blended.
Yeah, we're gonna blend this, so we're good. As a matter of fact, skip a step here. I am gonna cut these down a little bit. 4 cloves of garlic. Same here, I'll just give these a little rough chop. And we're gonna do 1 fresh tomato about this size. We had a couple Romas on our test batch, which you could also use. And I was thinking today, if you really can't find fresh tomatoes, probably wouldn't be a problem to grab a can of like San Marzano's and
Yeah, just fish out a couple.
grab a couple of those out of there and throw it in there. It'd be fine.
Yeah,
So.
you have they won't roast as well, but you do have the benefit of the
For
tomato
sure.
having been ripe.
But this looks pretty good, and that's it. That's your ingredients for Tom Jap.
Ta-da!
All right, we're gonna throw our veggies into a heavy bottom skillet or any kind of roasting pan that you wanna use. Quick little pinch of salt.
See, at the 5-Star, we just had buckets here and there throughout the kitchen areas of S&P. And it'd just be like, feels like it needs some S&P.
It would even be on the prep board sometimes.
Yeah, you'd get to mix up a giant bowl of salt and pepper. Very exciting times.
Oh yeah. You want to throw in a little fat, of course, too. You can just use olive oil, but if you follow us, you know that we're going to use our garlic oil that we keep on hand. Give that a little toss.
Beautiful.
And we'll throw that into our 450-degree oven for 20 minutes. There you go.
There it is.
So after 20 minutes at 450, 20 to 25, we're getting a little bit of color on the garlic. We're getting some dryness. We're getting some cookness. We're getting some greatness.
Yeah, concentration of flavors.
It looks amazing.
Yep.
All right, let's get that into a blender. All right, there's our little sauce.
Get sauce all over your face.
It doesn't matter, I'm not on camera.
No. It's on your nose.
No, it isn't. Get out of here. Moving on to the stuffing. First off, we're looking for about 1 cup of pretty thickly sliced mushrooms. Now, if you got some wide boys like this, I'd go ahead and cut that in half. So you don't get like a mouthful of mushroom all in one go. Not that it's bad, it's just, you know, you want to spread it around, spread the love.
You know, some of our viewers may notice that these mushrooms are looking a little maybe on the second half of their lifespan. A stuffing is a great use for those because like they might not be pretty enough that like you want to like maybe see them on top of the dish, but they're still going to provide wonderful mushroom flavor in a dish. So using them in stuffing is killer.
We're also going to chop up the other half of that onion.
This time,
We're going to go for a more elegant, like a medium dice. Next up, we're going to mince up about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. But I wanted to say, if you have one of these, or if you're thinking about getting one of these, you might find that when you're done chopping them, garlic is all stuck on the inside and maybe you don't know how to get it out. Well, here's the trick. Get a strainer and run a light stream of cold water and just use the water to collect up all the garlic and then just pour it through the strainer and bam, chopped garlic. Okay, we got like a medium-sized saucepan on about a medium-high heat. We're gonna throw in a little oil. Throw in our onions. It can be cold, no problem.
We're not trying to put any color.
So we're just kind of bringing up the heat. We're not doing anything crazy, like frying up the onions or anything like that. We're just getting it onto like a nice good sweat. And while things heat up, I'm gonna throw in another little pinch of salt. It's about probably quarter to half a teaspoon of salt, not too much. A little twist of pepper, and we'll cook that down for, what, 4 or 5 minutes?
That sounds great.
Yeah, 5 minutes looks perfect to me. So our last step at about this point is pour in half a cup of red wine, and we'll let that reduce just a little bit. All right, so we've pretty much reached a nappe stage on our reduction, and that looks a little something like this.
Yeah.
We want a little bit of liquid in there because we don't want to overdo it again. We don't want to overcook these. So at this point, we're going to say stuffing done.
Oh yeah, that's a nice little nappe.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we're done with our stuffing and with our tom jap, we're going to move on to the meat mix. Hey, you forgot to put the parsley in the stuffing. It's okay. Just make another one, cut in that shot, and they'll just have to pretend that the parsley's there for the rest of the video, but it'll be fine. Okay. Now make sure, right at the end here, to throw in a handful of freshly chopped fresh parsley. Okay, you ready to make some meat?
Yes.
Let's make some meat mix. I've got here 1 pound of 80/20 ground beef. And we're gonna start by making our favorite word, panade. Panade.
Panade.
We're gonna do a 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs, 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Give that a nice little friendly mix. And we'll set that aside and let it soak. But just for full transparency, this is an addition. We didn't used to make a panade at the 5-star.
No, it's just dry breadcrumb.
Probably just to keep the cost down, honestly. Like,
yeah.
You can't just be making panades for 10 pounds of meat every day. Okay, and now the big secret. This is the key to the whole thing.
It really is.
As Feet said in his post. And it really is. This is a very specific, very special, whatever this is. It says marinade. Who knows what this actually is?
It's Dale's.
It's Dale's.
This is Dale's seasoning.
Make sure to shake it. 2 teaspoons of Dale's. Oops, that was a little extra. Oh no.
Oh no.
Also in Feet's post, he did not mention adding salt and pepper to the meat mix, but we found out in our test batch that you probably should.
You probably should.
So again, maybe 1/4 to half a teaspoon of salt, a little black pepper. I'm gonna crack 1 whole egg into the mix. And we're gonna throw in 2 teaspoons of an Italian seasoning blend. This is our house-made blend, but you can use any kind of Italian seasoning you got on hand. All right, and that should give your panade just enough time to come together.
Oh yeah, all that extra cream is absorbed.
All the cream is now inside the breadcrumbs. And what we'll do here is we're gonna work the bejeez out of this meat. We're not making a cheeseburger here, we're making a meatloaf.
That's right.
Looking good, huh?
It looks great.
A little shagginess. It looks like there's a million quadrillion little hairs on it. And that's just an effect of having properly worked it into what you would call a farce. You can make a sausage out of this if you wanted to. All right, grab you a nice long piece of foil. Get a little bit of all down on your fall.
On your fall, okay.
Okay, what's the secret to not having your hands stick to the meat?
Wet water.
Hot water, just hot water. And we're gonna start to work this into about a 3-to-1 rectangle We're looking for about an inch thickness overall. So watch the edges and try to keep it all together, and don't let the cracks start to form. Just keep everything.
Yeah, just no.
Stay together, guys. Check my length. Okay, pretty good.
Yeah, that's great.
A little bit longer is okay because you're gonna have to tuck the sides. All right, now right on top of here, we're gonna get our stuffing that we made earlier. That's our mushroom, onion, and garlic and red wine mix. Still warm. Looking so good. And we're gonna focus on the back 2/3 here. I'm gonna leave a nice big stripe right there. I'm gonna leave a little bit on the sides, and I'm gonna leave a little bit right here on the top.
Gotta add some cheese.
Got to add some mozzarella cheese. Now, of course, we used to make this in-house at the 5-star, but just grab, you know, pretty decent.
You want a fresh mozz.
A fresh mozzarella, not a shredded mozz, not a low
block mozz.
and the low moisture mozz. No, like a
want
regular
fresh
mozzarella, just like this. But one thing I would recommend is throwing it in the freezer for a few minutes before you grate it.
Yes. That little 10 minutes in the freezer is really going to allow that fresh mozz to shred well.
Yeah. And don't be shy. A lot of cheese. It's an amazing addition to your stuffed meatloaf. And this is the way we did it at the 5-star.
Yep.
Something like that. And then it's just as easy as, we'll get our little pan ready to go. Let's see how I do. You want to start with your little fingies.
This is reminiscent of starting to roll up that pizza bread.
It is a lot like the pizza bread. And then just let the foil do the work.
Oh, and would you look at that?
And you're done, man.
And then here's that part about tucking the ends.
So yeah, take your fingers and we'll close that up. I can move it. Something like that. Now we're going to be ever so careful. I see it. I got it. And just very carefully do that.
The most important thing to try to do is get that seam on the bottom.
That's true, yes. Don't do this.
You can uncrumple it. You can uncrumple it.
The reason that you want to save your foil is that you're actually going to cook this covered. And what we're going to do is we're going to throw this in our 450-degree oven for 30 minutes.
Boom.
Here we go. Probably be safe to, oh God, it smells so good. I gotta say, that looks dead on.
It smells so good.
It smells really good. But this is an optional step, but we're gonna throw it back in the 450-degree oven for about 5 minutes just to get a little bit of color on the top. Oh yeah. Okay, here's the result of an extra 5 minutes uncovered.
Beautiful.
Okay, so we're gonna let this cool for at least 10 minutes.
Yes.
Let it kind of congeal, and then we'll plate it up.
Yeah, it won't slice well right out of the oven.
No, let it cool off. All right, we'll start with a little mashed potatoes. Something like that.
Beautiful.
We're doing good.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's perfect. In this scenario, we're probably gonna have some leftovers. This is a good bit of food, so.
Yeah, it looks like we have enough for 2 little meatloaf sandwiches for lunch tomorrow.
As far as the Tom Jap goes, if I would see something like this on the line, I would put a little, probably veg stock in it. But what we're gonna do today, because we're feeling decadent, is we're gonna run some of this pan drippings right into our little Tom Jap there. Give that a little bit of a mix. And then we do a little something like
little saddle.
This. So we have paired this with a nice, thick, rustic mashed potato. But if you want to up your mashed potato game, we've broken down the fallow mashed potato recipe into a 2-person portion. And you can check that video out next. If you stayed all the way to the end, you are officially in the Kitchen Club. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.